Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry for haven't really had any videos the last couple weeks. We were busy doing some other things, not related to Moline tractors necessarily. Got cows, the corn stalks, things like that. Didn't really have a chance last weekend to make too much. And then this last week I was over in Iowa for work training the whole entire week, so wasn't able to do much during the week here, but now I'm back and gonna be working on Dad's 670 super diesel. You kind of see there the injection pump has a leak on it, so I'm gonna get all this power washed off, and then we'll set the timing, and I'm gonna pull the injection pump off and put a seal kit in it. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today, and stay tuned. Okay, so got the tractor over here, got it washed up, got most of the dirt. Show you right here, take the side cover off. Oh well, that's picking up there, but got the two lines. There's a split here, there's a line here, which this is part of the pump, I guess you call it, whatever. Doesn't turn. This one here does turn with the pump, with the engine. So before I take this off, I got this in line there. I'll be able to take this pump off. And then when I go to put the pump back on, as long as I got those two lines lined back up perfectly, I'll be able to bleed it, and it should run just like it did before. So I'll start taking the pump off, and we'll get her off and start taking it apart. Okay. So I loosened up some of this stuff here, just so I didn't have to bore you for too long. So get the throttle linkage here taken off. This return line I loosened up. That should be off and good to go. This here, and kind of get it just out of the way. Sits there, I guess that'll be fine. Get the hose clamp off of this, see if I can. Maybe it comes. Try to get this inlet hose to come off. Sometimes those can be a pain. We've been on there for 30 years. But not too bad of a day out today. I made a hole in it now. We'll just cut it off. But anyways, earlier this week it was like at night down to like 6-7 degrees. Pretty cold. Wind chill in the morning. I know the one morning was like negative 10. At least over in Iowa there where I was, that's what it was. But I looked at my phone and it looked like it was pretty much the same way over here. So cold. But today my pickup said it was 65, so can't complain about that, especially for December. So we'll take it. And tomorrow's supposed to even be just a little bit warmer. But earlier this afternoon, maybe when I was moving this tractor even, I know it was pretty windy. But right now the wind's actually died down a little bit, and it's not too bad at all out here. So figured it'd be a good weekend to get this taken care of. Been leaking for a long time. Usually we always would just shut the fuel off and didn't really matter, but got the kit and got some time, nice weather, might as well get it fixed. So that's what we'll do. The kit I'll show you here. I order them online. It's actually there was a few kits I've done earlier that I got off of Amazon, and they were like a a cheap foreign kit. So far I've not had any problems with those, but when I did some more research, I found that you could buy the regular, the Master, and actually I think this kit says Standardine, but same company. You can get them online too from a company, and they're not too bad at all. So I started buying the regular Standardine brand seal kits. So, and I'll show you the bag. It comes with everything. You know, there's the governor ring in here that, and on these pumps that usually, I don't know what you call it, I guess explodes or disintegrates. And then, you know, the pieces all end up here in the top, and then plugs this relief. But all that stuff's all in there to do all that. The only thing that's not in there, you know, if you have actual pieces in here that are wore out, you'd have to go to, you know, like I got a local fuel shop here I could go to and get stuff like that. But yeah, overall these pumps really aren't that difficult. Like before I went to college, you know, I would never touch them. You know, had no experience with them, didn't know anything about them, but went to college. We had a whole class one semester basically learning about fuel systems and pumps, and that's when I learned how to rebuild these injection pumps, and it's been pretty helpful, and you know, saves us quite a bit of money really. And my brother, he went through the same program now, so he could rebuild these pumps too, and I know he did on that 955 that he had. I know he did that one by himself. So just things that we take away from our day job that helps us with our hobbies. It's always nice. So the class I went to this week was all about advanced electrical and all the new combines. So nothing I deal with on these, but man, there's a lot of, you know, the new combines, all the controllers and sensors and wires, and it's a lot to learn on those. But I've been working on them for 7 years now, so I'm getting, you know, fairly, I guess, good. I don't know if good is the right term, but kind of can guess my way around one, I guess I'll put it. Nowhere near good, a lot to learn yet, but can be dangerous, I guess. So get these fuel lines off, and nice thing about this tractor, it's only at 4 cylinders. There's, you know, 2 less fuel lines we gotta take off. Let's see, I did that tractor. Yeah, this tractor's over here. I did this, that 602 that's sitting right over there. You can see it rattling the barn. I did the fuel pump in that tractor. That was about the second one I did, but that one, the governor ring was shot in it. That tractor would always just kind of run rough. You know, if you own one, and you'd know what I meant. It just kind of wouldn't idle right and stuff like that. So I took that off and put the kit in it. And I've done this one. I've done my 706 when I rebuilt the engine in it. Let's see which other. The 900, my nice 1968 G900 diesel. I did that one. Oh, let's see. In college, the first one I ever did, that Oliver G1355. If you go way back in the channel, I got just a kind of a short video of that running. I did that pump when we rebuilt the engine in that tractor. So done a few of them now. I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting, but not bad. I'll show you the book too. I went on, I think I got that off eBay. There's a really nice like service manual for the Master pumps, and I got that. It's just a reprint, but that's fine for what I'm doing. It's been really helpful for me, and you know, there's specs and stuff in there, but you know, like with these old tractors, I don't have no test stand or nothing to put them on, but with these old tractors, just, you know, as long as they start decent and run smooth, that's all we're after here. And we're not going farming every day with them, and we're not gonna, you know, be using them all the time or tractor pulling, nothing like that. So main thing is just keep them running. That's what the main goal is here. There it goes. But for you, if any of you have never really had these off, so there's these little sealing rings is what there is, and there'll be one that goes right on there, and then your line, you know, will go through, and then on the other side next to the pump, get one here. There we go, that one. So then your line will be through there, and then you'll have another sealing ring just on the other side. Which this one I'm not sure what somebody. It's probably why I fought that one so much. It's not the right kind of sealing ring. It's like somebody just found one in their shop and put it on there. But you got to be careful if you don't put both those on. Sorry for the train. I live right by the train track. It gets loud. But if you don't put both of those on, the screw will actually screw in too far, and you'll go right into your rotor inside that pump and screw the pump up. So you gotta make sure you put both sealing rings on, because not only will it leak, but you know, it will do that. So put both sealing rings on, and you know, don't over tighten them. You can't strip them out. So we'll get to that when we start putting the pump back on. We'll kind of show you some of that stuff too. Yeah, I think we should be ready to. There's two ways you can unbolt this. You can either go right here, or you can go with these bolts. I usually just take the whole flange off. It does take the gear with it, but then when I rebuild everything on the bench, I know I've got, you know, there's some seals in here that you can roll, and then you'll either dump fuel into your engine oil, or your engine oil can get into your fuel. They're like some lip seals. I'll show you when we get them. Get this pump off and get it taken apart. But so that's why I usually like to take it with the whole gear. I know some guys will leave this plate on and just take these two bolts out, and they'll leave the gear here. Either way, it really doesn't matter. This gasket, you know, as long as it's still in one piece, I'll just put silicone on it and put it back on. But otherwise, I do have some new gaskets too. So we'll start taking this off. Okay, so we're ready to take the pump off. Real quick, I was going to go through and show you this stuff here. This is the book I use, the service manual. Like I was saying, you know, it's really helpful. It does break it down very well. You know, like how to take the pump apart. Pretty step by step. There's pictures, you know, and there's very helpful book. This is Roost Masters Series D, the service manual. It is from Gen Sales, this book, but you know, it's very helpful. There's a lot of stuff in here just about the pump in general. Just learn about how each part, you know, what it does and how it works. So this book has helped me a lot, especially when rebuilding these. So you know, if you whatever reason decide you want to tackle one or whatever and weren't maybe sure, I would get this book and it'll help you out a lot. So there's that, and then this is that kit. You know, this kit's for, we'll do a 6-cylinder. You know, I think it's just they only sell one kind of kit, and you know, that's fine. 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder, whatever, the extra parts, you know, there'll be some extra rings and stuff like that you won't use on this, being a 4-cylinder, that, you know, we'll keep on the shelf. And someday if you got a leak like in that 706 video, then we got, you know, the washers to seal it up. But yeah, you can kind of, they put the sticker right over, you can see there's the Standardine kit. The part number is 24371. But yeah, it comes with everything in here. There's this is that governor ring right here I was talking to you about that always disintegrates in there. And then yeah, here actually stapled to it is the, you know, the card, I guess, from where I get it, but that badgerdiesel.com is where I get these kits from. So yeah, it's a, you know, saves you a little money if you know that the tractor always ran right or whatever, and just you can tell maybe it's just that governor ring that's bad. These things really are not too bad to tear apart. The big thing is make sure you keep it clean. You know, that's why I power wash this. I know on the backside there's some dirt, but I'll be very careful right before I start really tearing it apart get all the dirt out of it, and then especially as you go together, you know, brake clean everything, make sure it all stays really clean, and you don't want to get no dirt, nothing like that in there. So we'll get this pump off here, and then I'm gonna have to put you guys probably on the charger. I see my battery's getting down there, but that'll be fine. I might be able to plug you in there real close to where I'm working and keep going. We'll see, because I'm pretty sure the other battery is dead too, but we'll figure it out one way or another. So should be able to just pull all this out just like that, and there we go. Now we got our pump, and I'm gonna go put this in the vise, and I'll bring you guys in there. Okay, so my other battery luckily did end up being full, so I got you guys back here. One other quick note I want to make. There was one of you that reached out to me here this week and was looking for a Minneapolis Moline ZAN, which we all know. Okay, look like you guys are maybe following a little bit there. As you all know, is a ZA with just a single front wheel. Anyways, this gentleman is looking for one. I do not currently have one, or even really know where there's one out for sale at the moment, but let's say that maybe if one of you guys do, maybe leave in the comments or send me an email, and we can try to get something found for this guy. I was gonna kind of go through all my auction pages and stuff like that, and there's a few guys I know that do have them. I was maybe gonna see if, you know, if somebody maybe had one they wanted to sell, but one I knew of just sold. Well, the auction where we went and picked up the Elwood front axle, there was one that sold there, but it was pretty rough shape. But anyways, won't mention the guy's name or nothing, but you know, if you know of a ZAN somewhere, you know, let us know, and try to get this guy a tractor. But need to go out and go get my screwdriver. I think this one might work. So I always start with, I take this top off. There's just 3 screws up top here, and then get that off, and then we'll kind of show you what's all inside. So I know I was preaching earlier, you know, about clean. I know the shop, this is what I got to work with. I don't have no $1 million fuel shop to work in, but so what I do is I clean the bench off over here on the side. You can't see it, but, and then I set down, you know, a bunch of paper towels that are good and clean. And you know, I've done many of these pumps. I've not had any sort of issue with contamination, dirt, whatever, but you know, I wouldn't go pulling a fuel pump off of, you know, a brand new tractor or something like that and do it in here. But for these old tractors, you know, I think it does just fine. Our instructor always told us stories about how they would build these fuel pumps and, you know, rebuild them out in the field on the tailgate of their service truck. So definitely better than that situation, I guess. But is it perfect? No. Does it work? Yes, it does work. So I just knew somebody would probably make a comment about dirt and all that. Well, it's nothing to really be worried about. I've done many of them, and it's always worked just fine. So we're not too worried about that. Just be careful is the only key, especially when you're going together. You just make sure there's no dirt around it, and piece by piece, and as you get it all, you know, one piece at a time, get it in there clean, and you'll be just fine. So that's what we do. But get this taken off of here. There we go. One other thing about this tractor, it's only got really 2 speeds of the engine. Either if you push the throttle way up, the throttle lever, it'll kind of just barely idle, or if you got it anywhere else, it's just full throttle. So I remember a couple years ago, I took this apart and there was a spring. Yeah, so there's this spring here. Well, you guys can see that, but this would, yeah. Anyways, there's supposed to be another spring inside of here. There's 2 little springs, and it's missing the smaller one. It's got this big one, obviously, but there's supposed to be another one, which we've actually bought a pump out of a salvage yard that this whole housing was cracked. So I do have a lot of these internal pieces that I use as, I guess, a parts pump. So that's kind of nice to have. Seems like usually every pump I go and it's like, oh, well, that, you know, there's a better one of them over in that pump, let's do that. So that's kind of what we'll use that for. It's kind of nice to have. But anyways, you take this piece off here, and then the shaft will come out, and then all this stuff will kind of all start to fall out of there. So I'll put you down and I'll start tearing this apart. Okay, one quick thing I want to show you here as I continue on. So you'll see all that little, like basically dirt looking stuff in here. Well, what that is that's that governor ring I've been talking about. So obviously I'll be able to show you when I get this one apart, but obviously at some point in time here, that governor ring in this one actually did disintegrate, and it always ends up in this top housing. And I'll show you this piece here. So it always, that right there is your, you know, your outlet to, there's like a little check valve in there. That's for your returns. And as it plugs that up, the tractors, sometimes you notice like if they run or kind of idle rough, that's what's going on there. I've heard a lot of times back in the day, actually, when they were farming with them, you know, John Deere's got the same pumps and stuff on them. Not exactly, but basically the same concept. Master D series pumps. You know, they would shut off, and if you wait 5 minutes and start it back up, it'd run for another 30 minutes and do the same thing. Well, as the pressure built up in these pumps, and they just wouldn't work right. So that's what's going on there. We'll continue to tear this apart here. I did get the top off. I got all the internal stuff out of here. I need to get these little caps, or you take one cap off, and it's a screw actually that goes all the way across, and you pull that out, and then this piece here will actually lift up, and this is actually attached to all your governor pieces down in there. And then we'll take these little bolts out, and then this whole this is called the head assembly, we'll actually pull out of here. So and that inside of there will be where we find our governor ring, which obviously is not in good shape. So I'm gonna put you guys on hold here again and kind of tear some more of this stuff off. I don't like to bore you guys too much, so I'll bring you back here in a minute. This right here is exactly why I take this pump off where I do. When you put this in, obviously I'm just tearing this apart, but if you put that in wrong, that seal right there will fold right over, and that would allow fuel to dump into your engine crankcase, and you don't want that to happen. So when you pull that out, you always got to be real careful. You'll see there's a dot right there on the end of that shaft. There's a dot. There's also a dot on the inside and the pump, and you always just align those two dots, and then that keeps your timing the way it should be. And then also on the end here, there's this little spring-loaded plunger thing, but you got to make sure you don't lose that out of there, you know, drop the spring, what have you. So just once again, if you're doing these, you just be very, you know, careful, go slow at it, and just take your time, and you know, make sure you just don't lose anything, because it's not something you want to do. You know, back before I went to college, we always used to send these to the pump shop, and I know it's nowhere cheap, and you know, that was, well, it'd be about 7 years ago now, so it's only gotten way more expensive, I'm sure. So yeah, just take your time, I guess, is the main point what I'm getting at here, and be very cautious and observant as you're going through. So I am going to go ahead and actually start taking some of this off, leave you guys on for now. Some of this stuff, I guess, might not be too bad for you to see. So we're going to get this off. You can pull this out and put it over here on a clean bench area. So you see the two cylinder heads here. Dad is actually just got some cylinder heads off a 336 irrigation motor right now. We use on the one farm to irrigate the corn and beans and stuff with. So can't remember I know one, I think it had a cracked head. We took it off last year, and then actually we started using one of my 336s, but had a cracked head. And then we got two good heads here. They're 4210 heads, so fairly common. And we had them sent to machine shop, get, you know, valve seats, stuff like that all checked out in them, and now they're ready to go back on. So tight one there. But I will get this off. Careful of the dirt, but get this taken off and keep making our way. These some fuel dumping out of there, you can see, which is all right. You know, these pumps overall are not terrible to work on. I know guys will say some guys say the Bosch ones maybe are a little easier. I've actually never had to deal with one of the Bosch ones before, so you know, I can't tell you too much what those are like. You know, I've seen the little camshaft and stuff like that inside of those before, but can't say that I've ever done too much work on them. Oh, a little tighter. There it goes. There'll be some stuff here I'll cover, you know, with this once I actually go to put the pump back on. There's actually some timing, a little bit of wiggle for your timing, what can be done here with these, and just, you know, you can rock this, but we'll cover that when I go to actually put the pump back on. It's kind of nice, I guess you call it, or a simple way to fix the timing real quick if you need to. So get this off of here and get rid of this plate out of here now. There's an O-ring you'll see in here, which that does come in the kit, so not a big deal there. That's how the pump seals to that plate. And then, like I said, there's a gasket then on the other side of that plate, and that's what seals that plate to the tractor. So let's start taking some of these out of here. Just break them loose. You can see that. Oh yeah. Oh. And there's a couple on the bottom here. Of course, is a different size. Two of them, two different sizes. So, get those apart. I need to grab a different wrench for these two, and I'll be right back. Okay, so bringing you back here now. I got the bolts and everything out of here. I got this pin and stuff out, and then that allowed me to take this piece right here out. You know, a lot of this I plan on showing you a good video of as we put it together. Just kind of trying to get it kind of quickly torn apart, and I'll start cleaning pieces up. And once I get everything cleaned up, I'll be able to make a nice quick video of just kind of going together. So it's kind of what we're doing, but you just kind of carefully just start pulling this out of here. That's what you got to do. Always try to twist them just the least amount as possible. You know, I don't want to scratch nothing in there, hurt nothing in there. Just kind of slowly get it to work its way out. Of course, it just locked on something. Okay, there we go. So, and then this should, yep, just so I got figured. So, make sure this is showing it. So this here, you're not supposed to be able to pull apart. That's right in there is where that governor ring goes. I'll show kind of when I put that together, but that ring, you can kind of still see the pieces around on those things there. You know, that ring is supposed to hold this together. So basically what this tractor can do, it's not supposed to do this, but this piece can go like this, and this is supposed to be, you know, tight, and then just that ring is supposed to just give it just a little bit of a, you know, like a vibration dampener. But if it's doing stuff like this, of course it could run rough, but in our case, surprisingly, I didn't see it too much. I mean, maybe a little bit, but yeah, that's, you know, one of the things I figured I would find in this. I just kind of wanted to make sure I made a point of it and showed you guys kind of what was probably going on if you'd ever ran into that. So not really much in here other than I'll probably just clean it up real good. I get all this stuff out of here, but I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm gonna clean everything up real good. Once I get it all clean, I'll bring you guys back and we'll you know, go over putting it all together. So I'll be back here in a bit. So we should be good now to go ahead and put our ring, there we go, our governor ring here, all together. So we'll do that. I'll kind of show you my trick, I guess, that I learned while I was in school. Actually, the guy from the pump shop taught me this. When I went and got my first kit, I bought it from him, and he gave me a few tricks and stuff there, and that was the pump obviously I did while I was in college. So first off, this is what that ring is supposed to look like. See all these little holes, but each of those just go on to, get this picked up here, each of those just go on here, you know, like this, over them studs. But I'll show you here in a minute. I actually use a snap ring plier to spread out the hole and get it on here. So it can be a little bit of a pain. Once you kind of get them all started, then it actually goes pretty smooth. So that's what I'll be doing here. Let's switch these. I think Master actually made a tool for doing this, but the guy at the pump shop told me that it didn't ever, you know, if it didn't work the greatest or it worked, but he said he found out that doing it this way was the best. So he taught me that and told me to go back into class and show everybody a secret. So that's what I did. And you know, usually this, I remember one, I don't remember what tractor it was, but it fought me, but it's usually not too bad once you get them started and get them going on there, and it's not too bad of a process, I guess. Making sure I got everything all good here, which I do. Of course, you know, I was saying they're usually not too bad, and now this one, of course, is going to try to fight me, so. We shall keep trying, we'll get it. Sooner or later, it'll go on there. You always need more hands, is always the problem. Just to get started down there. There it goes. Got the first one on. There we go. Usually kind of once you get the first couple going on there, doesn't go too bad. Just want to make sure you get it all down and in there. You don't want that coming back apart, because then taking this pump apart would pretty much just been a waste of time. So get it to go on that last little one there. There it goes. Okay. I can show you here now. You know, that's what it's supposed to do. And you know, obviously I can't turn it, but I'm sure if the tractor's running, it probably could, you know, just barely. And that's just, so just kind of for vibration is all that is. So. Okay, for the most part, I got this all pretty much back together. I was just gonna go over some of the stuff here. So this end piece here all connects with the shaft over here, all tied, and it all locks into place actually with this little shut-off lever. So like this right now, the tractor would be, you know, like this is full throttle. This is showing, or how good this is showing this. And as I go, watch this little lever here, you'll actually see it push all this stuff this way, and that's actually how it shuts the fuel off. So it goes right there. Now, like right now, the fuel's shut off to the tractor. So just kind of showing how that is. This spring here is all attached to them, all them little governor weights that you seen me messing with earlier. That's just pretty simple pump, really, how all this works. So said I put a new gasket on here, and you know, I got this one loose. Obviously I need that for getting the timing all lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this top on. Kind of trying to decide yet if I want to put this on the tractor yet tonight or not. It is dark out there, but we'll see. I'll get all this put together and we'll go out and see what it looks like. So okay, bringing you back here now. So got everything hooked up, had the fuel turned on, had this open, had a little bit of fuel dribbling out. So now I went through and I cracked all the lines. So we're gonna go through here and see if we can't get this thing primed up and see if we can't get it to start. There we go. We got fuel coming out of a few of those there, so go ahead and close them back down. So I fuel out of all of them, so that's good. Don't see nothing leaking on the pump yet. It's also good. Okay. Now let's see if it'll run. Try giving it a little help once. Okay, so it's actually the next day here now. I ended up having to take the pump back off, and I found out I had the governor ring. There's little timing marks I had at 180 off, which is what it acted like. All this morning I was messing with it. It was just smoke white. So it looked like it was getting fuel, but it wouldn't actually take off. So I took the pump back off, found that I had those marks 180 off, got the pump back on, got the lines pretty much primed up, and right now we're just getting ready. I think it's going to take off here, so we'll go ahead and see if it'll fire up. So, got it running. I went over and washed it and let it run for a good hour or so. And you can see it's all good and dry, other than maybe just a little water on here yet. But no leaks, which is good. Before, there would be fuel just running out right here. So we always had to shut the fuel off. But looks like it's all good. It runs really smooth. So I'd say this was a success, even though I did take, you know, one extra day longer than what I had planned. But that's the way things go sometimes. So overall, not too bad of a project. You know, if I wish I would have noticed that cam ring line to begin with, but you know, I was just kind of going fast trying to get it done last night before dark, and things like that happened. So but overall, glad it's done. And didn't get my A4T into this spot, but that'll be next weekend when I'm home. I'll get the A4T pulled up over here is my plan, and we'll probably having some videos, be working on the A4T. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.